Hope all are well. Okay, getting started, getting ready. Thank you so very much for checking out today. I want to start off by saying Happy Mother's Day to all of the mothers that are watching this show, to all of the people who have tuned in to Facebook, Instagram, to YouTube, and all the other social media outlets that we come to you with every single week. This is a Sunday conversation. I want to give a special shout out to all of the mothers, because today is your day. This is Mother's Day 2018, and it is a privilege and an honor to give credit, respect, and admiration to the women who have helped forge our happiness and bring reality, grace, awareness, and truth to our lives. I want to give a special shout out to you. So before we get going any further, happy Mother's Day. I want to say what's up to Marco. I want to say what's going on to Mike B, and to my peoples on YouTube, Instagram. What's happening? Hope you are well. We're going to have a wonderful show today. Today's show is about, in life, we have a tendency, unfortunately, to always look on the outside for something to bring us happiness. We look on the outside for something to give us a sense of self-worth. We look on the outside for an opportunity to feel as if we have reason for being. Too many times we think that the energy that we need to survive, to go forward, to move on with strength, is an external energy. But we don't truly understand, we don't respect and appreciate that it is really an inside thing. And today what I want to talk to you about is I want to talk to you about being the light. So many times we think the light comes from outside, but the truth is, it comes from within. So many of the people that check out my shows come from so many different spiritual paths, so many different expressions of faith. And it's so awesome that I'm able to bring so many people together, that so many people find an interest in the show, because we see past the various ways that we connect to the spirit. We call these like spiritual languages. That's how I like to look at religion today. Is I like to look at religion as if it's a language. And I mean, how can one communicate if you don't have a language? And there are so many amazing languages. I mean, what do we do in school? We go learn different languages. We learn more about our language. We learn how to think more in depth using a language, even though it's the brain, it's the mind that has all the power, has all the capabilities, has all of the features. But we find more in our own thinking through the utilization of language. Such is the same way when it comes to our walk, when it comes to our relationship, when it comes to our connection to the Most High. We find that it's the language of our religion that gives us the power, gives us the strength and the understanding to be able to walk one with the divine. And so today's conversation is about how to take that light and be a guiding light for those who are in similar situations to yourself, looking for truth, looking for answers, looking for purpose. And instead of trying to tell them something, because we don't listen to words, the greatest testimony you can ever give is your day-to-day life action. So learning how to be that light is what today's show is about. Realizing the responsibility that we all possess, the gifts that we all have within us, that allows us to manifest the light from within and be a guide for those looking on the out. I want to say what's happening to my beautiful wife before I go any further. Teresa, what's going on? Santi in the house. Cynthia, Hey, happy Sunday. Listen, happy Mother's Day again to all of the wonderful mothers out here. I want to say first and foremost, I'd love for you to comment, like, share this. Let's get the conversation going. Today's conversation is about being the light. Too many times we think that the light is something that somebody else puts inside of you. But we have to take into consideration that the reality is that we are the light. There's so many people that are going through darkness right now. I mean, you look on Facebook and what do you see? You see the sadness, the utter pain of so many people who have lost a loved one. They've lost their mother, and today's Mother's Day. They've lost a family member, and today's the day that we so deeply reflect back on that loss. But where do you get your strength? Where do you get the power to encourage? Where do you get the ability to show happiness? Well, you have to get it from within. And when it's within, it's that light that illuminates out, that manifests the strength, the energy, the confidence that other people find. And they see this resolve, they see this wonderful joy, and they get the power to go on a little further. Too many times we think it's somebody else's job. Too many times we think that, hey, my light is for me. I can't be so giving that I end up depleted. And this is true in some situations. But the reality is God gives to you the gifts that must be shared and offered to others. You know, when I started this show, the Sunday Conversation, I was really perplexed because I knew that I didn't have a particular religious approach that I valued higher than another. I knew that all the different religions were just an expression one has towards their relationship and commitment towards the divine. And as I said in the beginning of this show, religions are like languages. They allow us to communicate our expressions. They allow us to think critically. They allow us to go into our deeper thoughts and create some kind of logic. And whose logic is better than whose? I'm going to tell you right now, there are so many beautiful people in this world, so many people that are committed to walking with God, so many people who are committed with finding out how to be truer within their own selves, so many people who are committed to becoming a servant of the Most High, a companion to the lost, a hug to the lonely, and a love to those who have lost. And I thank you guys for checking this out, because today's conversation is our responsibility, bringing forth our own onus to help out somebody. You guys know people, you see them on your timelines, you talk to them at work, you have family members who express these things, friends that you know, and they're experiencing a loss. They're experiencing a pain. They're experiencing trouble. And you say, well, whose job is it? I've got problems of my own. I'm not perfect. I can't express things to make other people do what's supposed to be right. I'm still trying to find right myself. But I'm going to tell you right now, when you stand firm, when you believe in your true divinity, when you understand what it means to have purpose, you realize that you are the light that we need to keep this thing going. Hey, this your boy Tone Duncan, Sunday Conversation. It's 1 o'clock, and I'm so glad that you're checking this out. I want you to like, I want you to comment, I want you to share. I want to build this conversation so that we can talk about being the light. I like to hear about a story where you knew that you had to be the light in somebody else's life. Share that right here. My man Santi says acceptance is the answer to me. In my losses, my brother, I've been blessed to have had my mom for 82 years of her life. God is good all day and every day. Yes, yes, yes. See, when you have the ability to have the richness and the fullness of somebody's in your life, somebody as powerful as your mother, you get the reality that we are only here for a finite amount of time. But the beauty, the energy, the memories, the spirit, it doesn't die. So many people realize as they go through this life that we are not created, when we are born, and we do not die when this earthly life is over. Some of us say we are spiritual beings going through an earthly process. And I have to tell you that when we deal with tragedy, when we deal with loss, when we deal with deep, deep adversities, it creates a pain that sucks the life out of us like the wind getting kicked out. And we need that light from outside to empower us. But the truth is, you are that light. And sometimes when a person is down, it may be you and your light that brings them back to reality. You know, I've experienced pain. I've experienced lost ones. I've experienced all kind of grief. And it's in those moments that I forget, because I'm only human. Hey, and the light from somebody else. Sometimes it's a beautiful child, just happy and got the whole world in front of them. That reminds me, maybe it's a couple walking down the street holding hands. That reminds me that this too, as painful as it is, this too, as hurtful as it is, this too, as empty as I feel, will pass. Because inside of us is the light of energy, the light of happiness, the light of strength. And that light is in you. And today, what I want to talk about is the importance of you being that light, of you continually growing and standing strong in your conviction that the way you live your life can create strength and awareness in another life, encouragement and empowerment in another life, salvation and dignity in another life, when we walk within the divinity of ourselves. See, our mothers are a strength of our spirituality. So many of us, we get our spiritual fortitude from our mothers. And in today's day, today's thought, and in today's message, there is no way that we can powerfully move with the teachings of our mothers without understanding the spiritual education, the spiritual empowerment, the spiritual encouragement that we've all learned in watching them deal with the adversities that they've dealt with. I don't know about you, but my mother's dealt with a lot of adversities in life, a lot of sad times, but I watched her with courage, with the belief in the power of God to step forward with encouragement and say, you know what? God is with me even now. And we know this. See, sometimes it's hard to talk about God because God gives us so many areas for division. Allah, Krishna, Jesus, so many reasons for us to divide and disagree. But the reality is, if you understand the power of God is not in the name that you give it, but the love that you celebrate in that divinity, in that walk, in that belief. Man, it's so fun to sit down and talk to people who are of different religious persuasions and say to them, listen, I know you call your God a different name. I know you even have a different book. But let's see the similarities, and the power of the truth always passes us through this understanding. Today we talk about being the light. You're going to see in your workplace, you're going to see on your timeline, you're going to see in your friend base. Some of you are even seeing this in your families. There are low times, there are hard times. Right now is a time of great confusion and division. And you say to yourself, how do I connect? I used to have a show that talked about a lot of social issues. I moved away from the social issues because what ended up happening is it just took from me. There was toxicity in all of it. Tiff, what's going on? And I was deeply troubled because I wanted to be encouraged. I wanted to feel strong. I saw the problems in the world. I saw the hatred. I saw the mistrust, but I didn't want to be a part of it. I did not want to keep bringing people down. So I just talked about what was real. And that is, through it all, God is good all the time. Because when you know this, you walk like that. When you walk like that, you talk like that. When you talk like that, you communicate with people who need it. You become the light they see, the power they deserve, and the energy that proves that your God is stronger than anything that you have ever dealt with and anything that you will ever experience. See, this is the reality. This is the truth that I want to talk to you about, because too often we're looking for somebody else to be what we already are, which is the light that ignites the world and sets it on fire for truth and righteousness. Ruth, what's going on? Yes, that's right, Santi. We are same tree, no matter what branch we communicate from. I want to say thank you guys checking us out every Sunday, 1 p.m. It's the truth. It's the conversation that we need to have. Like, comment, share. This is always an awesome conversation. What do we talk about here? We talk about the divine within. We talk about realizing that you come from the cloth that is made of divinity. And if you step through your divinity and out and towards this fear-like world, you become the light that empowers those who were in the dark. Those who were blind can see, because you illuminate with the spirituality of the divine that has raised you, strengthened you, and prepared you for such a time as this. See, I thank my mother on Mother's Day, because I know that if it wasn't for our mothers, we would be spiritually confused. But when you have such an example, such a role model, such a power to see every single day, troubles in school, mama loves you. Problems outside at work, mama loves you. Relationships don't work right, mama loves you. Why? Because she's supposed to, because she shows you the love outside that gives you the confidence to love from within. See, and that is being a light. See, that light right there, might not be happening at the best time. Real lights might have problems. Bills might not be paid. Food might not be on the table. There might be problems with her employment. She might be having a rocky relationship. There might be trouble all around her, but she shows you the love. She shows you the power. She shows you the trust within. Know that God is with you no matter what the adversity is, and then you become strengthened in the awareness of the Most High. Because she was that light. Today, I'm talking to you about being that light. This your boy, Tone Duncan, Marcus, Sugar Mama in the house, Shaheed. What's happening? You guys, we got a fun show today. I hope all of you have had a chance to say hello to your mothers. I hope every one of you have had a chance to just thank the Most High on the inside for having a beautiful thing called mother in your life. This your boy Tone Duncan. Too many times we sit around thinking to ourselves what the problems of the world are. Too many times we get caught up in the confusion of the bickering and the hatred and the racial issues, the social issues, the national issues, political issues, and we wonder, who are we supposed to be throughout all of this? Well, I'm going to tell you right now that no matter the adversity, you have a responsibility. You have a need, a desire out here for the same thing everybody else does. And that's the belief that somehow, some way, God's going to make it shine. God's going to make belief out of disbelief. See, we walk in the same mindset that we live in, but we need to live in a mindset that you and in and of yourself are the change that's needed in this world today. Man, I spend so much time asking myself, God, what do I do here? I'm going to walk you back on what I just said. I spent so much time asking myself, God, what am I supposed to do here? Why did I say it that way? Because too many of you don't understand. Inside of you, resting in you, in your DNA is the Most High with you. Even when you feel without, come into yourself. What they say is meditate. Because God is with you. Some of us think God is only with us when we're doing right. Some of us feel like God is only there when we're blessed and highly favored. Some of us don't understand it. Years before the blessing, God was with us through the lessons. See, we have to fall back within and understand that ye are children of God. See, man, I'll tell you this. Thank you, Santi. I'm going to tell you right now, it's hard to talk because words can't express the spiritual reality that's so much deeper than the finite. Words express things that are palpable, things that you can see, touch, feel, smile, smell. You cannot express the divine, but you can be the lights. I'm going to say this again. See, I might not be able to tell you what you want to hear, but you can see it illuminating from me that there's a real God even through your tough times. You are that illumination. You are that belief. You are that encouragement. You are that shown, sealed proof that God is working all around. And it makes somebody say, well, if God is in that person, if God is there, surely he's with me too. See, too many times we've been taught by people that we're wretched, we're sinners, we're worthless, we should be scum, dead, killed, whatever. But we're never told that ye are gods. Ye are children of the Most High. See, when you understand that, when you get that psalm, you will be able to bring the light of divinity to the people who need it most. So many times you reach into your pocket thinking, man, if I only had an extra $5 to give this person. You don't understand that if you gave that person a smile and a loving expression, they would see in themselves that they could get that $5 themselves. If you saw in a person who was struggling, they need, I mean really the need to hear from you right then in that moment. God is with you. Even now, walk in faith and know that he is God. See, we have not because we ask not. And we might mouth the words, but until you believe deep in your life, deep in your spirit, deep in the experiences that minimize your confidence, if you deeply dig in there and you see, I'm not asking God. The reason I'm not asking God is because I don't truly believe this thing will work out. Well, see, when you've been through things where you've had to contradict yourself because you thought never in a day could this possibly work out the way that it's supposed to, and it did, well, that is your conviction right there. That was God showing you that you have the power beyond your belief. Because it is our beliefs that leave us powerless. Most of our beliefs are based in fear. So many of our beliefs are based in negative experiences, low self-esteem, judgment, accusations. You'll never be this person. You shouldn't even try to think you're that person. And then we lose our confidence. But we don't understand that if you knew who your father was, man, hold on. I said, if you knew who your father was, you would be able to tell anybody, God's got you. And I'm telling you this because he's got me. And it's through me that I see this message to you. Man, today's Mother's Day. So many mothers are at home alone. So many mothers have had to endure the most ridicule in the world. So many mothers had to figure out being a parent. So many mothers had to figure out being the head of household. So many mothers had to figure out how to be a religious teacher, a spiritual mentor, how to help children in areas they had no clue. See, this is where we get our spirituality from. Because you can look your mama in the eye and tell she don't have it by herself, but she believes in something much more powerful than her experiences, much more powerful than her bank account, much more powerful than the dude who say he gonna do what he didn't do. And that's a faith that even now God is with me. And I thank God for being able to see this in my mother's eye, because watching her through the adversities that she endured, and you watched your mother through the tortures and hardships of life that nobody could have prepared her for, and even through these things you knew she believed in a power, and that power was the light. And now today, Mother's Day, I say, how are we being that light? Because we know it exists. We've been nurtured on it. We've been raised in it. We've been strengthened through it. We got to be that light, y'all. Got to be that light. Hey, I want to talk to you guys about something here. Because when we talk about being a light, some of us don't understand that you don't need to be at a particular place in your own life. You don't have to be perfect. You don't have to be, studied up in the word. One of the things that I'll never forget about my grandmother, love her to death, my grandmother couldn't even tell you what was in the Bible. But you know what she could do? She could tell you what faith was about. She could tell you about what it meant to walk through adversity with the confidence that her God is with her. See, too many times, watch what I'm saying here. Too many times we have found ourselves believing that it's an outside source that gives an inside salvation. But when you have been through it all, when there's nothing on the outside to help you, you realize all the help you've ever needed, all the help you've ever wanted, all the help you could ever conjure up, woke up with you when you got up this morning, was looking at the problem the same time you was. The only reason you didn't notice it is because it wasn't worried about it, only you was. See, it's inside of us. It's a belief, it's a power. It's a knowing. See, when you are that light, you are nothing but the divinity within you. See, what darkens the light is the fear. Some people call the fear the devil. Some people call the fear demons. It doesn't matter what you call it, as long as you can recognize that it is not the light and that it shades the light. It hides the light. It's ignorance that keeps the light from manifesting out. When you get this, when you pass through it, when you know it, you move the veil, you remove the shade, you tell the people this is the truth, and it will set you free. No, it'll set you free. See, and the reason it sets you free is because the only thing that was ever real was the light. We are the light. You are the light. I am the light. We are the only light that the darkness needs for growth. So many of us, we wonder, say, why is such and such in my life? It seems like every time I look up, I got another negative person in my life. You actually think they're in your life for you to cut them loose. You actually think they're in your life so you can do something for them. No, they're in your life because of your light. All you have to do is keep the light strong. Too many people think that the light isn't real. They're here because they need me to help them. I got to go do something for them. I got to give them a blessing. I got to try this. I got to do that. I got to go learn something. But the reality is, watch this here. It's not you, it's the light. Keep the light strong. When you step outside of the light, start trying to do things, that's when you're phony. That's when you're not real. That's when you're doing things that are outside of your strength, outside of your calling. No. See, remember this and believe this with your heart. When a person sees the light, it's because there is divinity in them and they are attracted to what they can be. Of course, they're going to be in your life. Now, you make the mistake if you want to. I'm trying to do something for them, trying to be some kind of outside force, trying to give them material help, trying to give them psychological help. They don't have a problem with their psychology. They have a problem with their divinity. They have a problem with understanding that the God that manifests inside of them can only be manifest once you move away from the stress. See, people will see your life and think you $1 million strong. They say, man, such and such got it going on. Look at her. She stressed, she walks, she confident. They don't know you got all kind of problems. You got problems of today are all around you, but they don't make you. They don't break you. They don't change the love of God that manifests through you. And see, some people, when they're going through these things, it's hard for them. They lose that light. And that's why it's so important for us to be that light, to be that strength, to be that encouragement, not to be that save them. You can't do things for people. You can only be the person God wants you to be. Two, that's where we make a mistake. That's where we mess it up. That's when we start to cause conflicts, chaos, and toxicity in our life. You want to get on the phone and talk. You want to walk with people, places, and deal with things that you're not prepared to deal with. You just keep living. You just keep being a light. You keep shining. You keep smiling in adversity. You keep being the person God wants you to be. And you've done exponentially more than you could have ever been asked to do. See, you have to be the light. Once you understand that the power of God works through you in a contagious way, like a flame, like a match, like a spark, that if this person comes close enough and they let down the veil just for a second, the spark will happen. Boom, they catch on fire. They got the light. They move it forward. You've done more for them than if you would have got them a job, made them a meal. You understand what I'm saying? Don't get it twisted. Too many of us are out here trying to do work of the religious folk instead of doing the work of the spiritual folk. See, spiritual folk, they show you God is working all the time. They show you working. No, see, let me tell you this. I don't know where they get this foolishness from, but let me say this to you. I'm going to say this to you. Jesus, in the teachings of the Christ, never used material gain to show the power of God. See, never at one point was it a material blessing. You didn't see him roll up in royalty. You didn't see any of these things in this story because it wasn't about a physical gift. It was about a spiritual awareness that God is working in the midst of all the adversity. In an area full of peasants, in the area full of oppression from the Romans, in an area full of hatred and sadness, God was working in a powerful way. See, watch when we turn this thing around and we start looking at our own situation. When we say, God, how can I show any kind of power and blessings when I'm going through it? I don't even know how I'm going to pay this bill. I don't know how I'm going to make it through this situation. My mom is sick. My uncle dying. My little cousin is over here about to kill himself. What do? You be the light. You shine strong. You walk with the conviction of the Most High in you all the time. That's what we do. That's called being the light. Hey, this your boy Tone Duncan. You're listening to the Sunday Conversation. Every Sunday, we talk a faith-based show. We don't get religious, y'all. And when I say religious, I don't care what religion you're in. I don't care. I've studied them all. I believe that God is wherever you bow your heart and open to the truth of your divinity. See, we've been taught by other religions to exclude and to only think that we are special. See, but when you understand that the creator of you is the creator of all the Asian religions, the creator of all the African expressions, the creator of all the different Indian expressions, when you understand that this same God that blessed you was happily the creator of all these other things that they call religion, and that there are people who diligently set their life aside for the servitude of the Most High. When we catch that, we stop being so egotistic. We stop thinking that it's so religious, and we understand the power of the Spirit. We understand the power of truth. We understand that the divinity in us, the religion we speak, is the one-on-one communication that we have with God. When you woke up this morning and you talked to God, you weren't talking to God about religion. You were talking to God in a relationship that was internal, never even had to be expressed on the outside, because the conversation stayed inside in full volume, full understanding. See, when you have that power, when you know God in a way that you feel God is me and I am with God and we are one, you let that shine out. Let that shine out. And you become the light. See, some religions, they try to tell you you're not worthy. You're not in any ways, you're just sin. You're just suffering. You're just a fallen creature. You are from where there should be persecution. See, I tell you something different. See, I tell you that you are the Most High's blessed creation. See, I tell you that in any book, no matter what book you've read, no matter what story you follow, you are the creation of divinity right here on earth. See, when God breathed into your fleshly soul, that was spirit. See, when the ancients talked about breathing, they talked about life. And the life that you are is the divine presence of God. Some of you need to know that today. Some of you are outside looking for something on the inside, but the inside is what's supposed to be illuminating the outside. You got to get it together. You got to get it right, because if you miss it, you've missed it. And there's nothing you can do about it until you catch it. We are the Most High's greatest creation. We, each one of us, have a piece of the Most High in us. I always say, God can be completely present in your life, yet be in the lives of everyone else. You must understand the power of divinity. If you understand these things, you'll stop minimizing God. I'll say this again. You'll stop minimizing God because it doesn't fit into your practicality. It doesn't fit into the way that the sermon was preached to you. It doesn't fit in the way that these mortal words were stated. You understand that the God that you serve cannot be expressed in words, cannot be expressed in clear thought. It must be lived. That's why they say we walk by faith and not by sight, because the power of what it is that we experience can't be articulated. Have you ever felt a certain way, and then you try to tell somebody you were stifled? I can't. I love, because our people, we find a way to say things that can't be said. You know what I love? I love when somebody say, I'm feeling a certain type of way. See, even though a certain type of way to somebody else might not mean anything, somebody who is spiritually connected will say, man, I feel you. I know what you mean. See, when God touches you, you feel a certain type of way. But when you study that thought, you realize that same God been touching you all the time. You've just been so caught in your ego, so caught in your thoughts, so caught in your fears, so caught in your day-to-day process that you didn't notice. See, and when you do realize that the same touch, the same conversation, the same walk was happening, you realize you didn't do anything to get closer to God. No, you didn't make a turn in the road and God was over there and you bumped into him. What you realized was, even in the depths of your despair, even in the depths of your misunderstandings, of your hopelessness, of your fear, of your lack of courage, God was there and pulled you up, pulled you to the top, even though you felt like you were so on the bottom. We must stand strong, y'all. Because when you realize the light is in you, then you start to understand the need for the light to be all around you. See, we all have it. I'm going to say this again. There is no being on earth who does not have the light. There are beings on earth that cover the light. How do they cover the light? Cover the light through false understandings. Cover the light over a disdain for their own spirituality. They cover the light because they don't know their own greatness. They cover the light because they think, I'm the child of such and such and such and such. I can never be the child of this such and such. They don't know the divinity within themselves. They are so caught into the pains and the agonies of this mortal world, they don't see the spiritual truth of where they are, who they are, and where they're going, and they lose it. But you are there. All the time, you are right there. And you bring that light with you. I started this conversation by saying there's no greater proof of the light than our own mothers. And on Mother's Day, it was so important for me to remind you guys. See, our mothers were never perfect. Well, some of you may have had a perfect mother. My mother wasn't perfect. But you know, I learned then that God does not dwell just in perfection. See, I learned then that even in people who are normal, who make mistakes, who learn from their problems, who experience turbulence, who I see make mistakes, but yet come around to get corrected, God dwells in them too. When you understand that it isn't a perfect man, it isn't a perfect woman, but a true regular person that holds the divine in them, then you see it's okay for you to know that you had a light in you. It's all right to understand that God walks with you. It's okay to realize that even through the adversity, God is with me. I can be that light. See, too many times we look for the light to be on the outside. The light is on the inside, y'all. And the light is not just for you. I've never seen one person with a flashlight say there's only enough light for me. See, when that light flicks out, all of a sudden it illuminates paths that aren't just yours. See, it gives identity to things that aren't just what you are looking for. It gives solace. It gives confidence. It gives direction, not just to you, but to all those who see the light. The light is usable for the individual, regardless of what you were intending it for. See, when you bring light, and the light is truth, and the light is real, and the light is from a divine source, it resonates individually for each individual who sees that light. Don't hide your light. And don't think your light is religious. See, light is not religious. Light is spiritual. Light is the belief in the faith and the power of the God you serve. Not in the dogma that you practice, not in the traditions of your children's family and such. No, don't get it twisted. See, I said bring the light. I didn't say bring your religion. Keep your religion to you. It might work for you. Matter of fact, it might not ever work for you, but it's all you know. That's fine. Nobody's knocking it. But keep it to yourself. Because if you want to actually show the divine, if you want to show the power of God, if you want to show the strength of the Most High, it's in your love for all beings, regardless of where they are, regardless of whether or not they are stepping in the directions you feel they should be in. Because remember, when you were at your lowest, God was raising you to your highest. It was when you didn't know that God was right there showing you that you could know all things. It was when you felt loveless, when you felt hated, when you felt irrelevant that God showed you you were powerful, you were a person of the Most High, you were worthy of salvation. Don't judge, because our religions are very judgmental. See, in order to boost you up, oftentimes they've got to diminish others. See, but I don't believe that this is on accident. I believe that all these things are for the benefit of the Most High. I believe that when you understand the divinity of God, you are able to see through all these things and their knowledge. See, I believe all things are worthy of education. All, no matter if it's irrelevant, no matter if it's incorrect, no matter if it's judgmental, I believe all these different things to those who commit to the Lord, To those who say, God, help me to see the truth. God, help me to be the truth. God, help me to show those who need the truth. You. See, when we can do this in that way, then all things are worthy for education. When you can understand that you told lies, but God loved you. When you understand that you've done things that you may not ever be able to tell another human being you've done, that same God was with you and walks with you now through your redemption, because you are where you need to be now, no matter what the path looked like behind you. See, too many of us, we're stuck in the past. We don't understand. See, I give the analogy, the windshield is always bigger than the rear view mirror. It's for a reason, because the focus is all in front of you, not on your past. Some of us wouldn't be where we are today if it wasn't for our past. Allow that to be what got you here, not what you're thinking about once you got here. It's a beautiful thing, knowing that you have within you the same divinity that changes worlds, that brings happiness to the hurt. You are. See, people used to say, I felt heartbroken until I saw a couple walking down the street holding hands. And even though it wasn't my love, I saw love. See, too often we think that happiness only exists if we experience it ourselves. But sometimes it's within ourselves that we must understand happiness is not limited to an inside thing. See, you can see what it is that regenerates you, that builds you, that strengthens you, that allows you to see purpose when a moment of despair has come upon you. It's too often, y'all. It's too often that we think that only time God is with us is when we're going through something great. Man, I'm telling you right now, I'm going to say this without any misunderstanding. Man, God is walking with you through hard times. God is walking with you through heartbreak. God is walking with you through that unemployment time in your life, when you're being ridiculed by your family, when you're messed up and everybody's pointing a finger at you and telling you you've disappointed every single person. God is with you in that moment. When everyone else turns their back on you and you have started to do the same. In the midst of your depression is the salvation of truth, the divinity of self, the greatness of your creator. And all you have to do is get past that moment of self-doubt. Because when a person sees you bounce back from what they believe should have been the end of your story, should have been the last time I saw you, never again should you have thought so high of yourself, and all of a sudden you are back again, man, that's a powerful God. Especially when you come from a place that's not egotistic, y'all. I'm going to say this again. When you come from a place that's not about you, but about the God that's in you. When you show the power that God does in you, not because you're somebody, but because we're all somebody, because God is in everybody. And because of this, see this body, see what God does with it, and see what he'll do for you. See, that's being a light. Many a times we allow our great accomplishments to speak for the power of God. But I tell you that it's the adversities that we endure, the times we've fallen, the tough life experiences that we've had to endure. See, this is when God is there. I've seen a person, met a homeless person, and I said to him, I said, "Hey, man, how you doing?" And he said to me, "I'm doing really well. I'm doing really well." Because see, how a person's doing is not about their external experiences. It's about their internal relationship. Sometimes externally, life is terrible. Sometimes externally, things are tough. Sometimes externally, you want to quit. But inside, you see it's all good. Inside, you realize, man, I'm getting past this thing and on to the next thing. I'm going to get through this problem. And God knows I'm going to have another problem up the road. And I'm going to smile till I get there, deal with it when I got there, and talk about it when I get through it. Because God's with me no matter what you think and no matter what you're experiencing now. Man, listen to me. It's Mother's Day, okay? And can't nobody be a greater example of the power of God, the faith, the light of the Lord is in that relationship. Because somehow, some way, Mama make it happen, doesn't she? Yes, she does. Yes, she does. And some of y'all are missing y'all mama right now. Some of y'all really, really, really are missing y'all mama. And I'm going to say this to you. She never left. Just like you know your God is with you, even though you can't see God, know your mother with you, please. Don't give yourself this foolishness. See, in a material world, you are told that only the material things are provable. Only the scientific method is what works. But we don't understand deep inside. We never believed that. We never received that. We've always known that the conversation is inside, deeply talking to the outside that we cannot see. Matter of fact, if I can just get it through my mouth to say, God, how my mama doing? I know she's doing well. And I can hear her because her energy lives in me. And some of us, we need to remember that. Because right now, today, we're going through a tough time. And I understand because, you know, who could be a more powerful, a more loving, a more worthy human being than our mother? But we live on. We are that light. We are that belief. We are that power. We are that light. And today, of all days, we need to show that light. We need to show that light. Some of us today will get on Facebook and we'll give the normal Happy Mother's Day. Some of us will scroll through looking for a few jokes, looking for a little gossip, looking to see what the world's got to show. But some of us need to understand when you are doing that, take that light with you. See, bring that light with you because that light is you. See, too often we're scared to show the light, y'all, because we don't want to be looked at all. Look at he got all sanctified and all this here. No. And you don't have to be like, well, I don't want to be religious because, you know, I don't want to like people that start to judge me. Now I make a mistake. They catch me at the bar with a drink or something, you know, or they see something, a post or something I made. Now all of a sudden I'm a demon. I'm a devil. I'm a two-faced. No, listen here. You got it wrong. See, that's religion. See, spirituality is the belief that God is a working progress in your life. See, there's a process going on inside of you that is turning you from where you don't want to be to where you will be. But it takes the encouragement, the belief, and the fortitude to know that you weren't there already, but you were with them. You aren't where you want to be, but together you walk in the way you gotta be. If you understand this, that's the light that other people can catch hold to. Because if you're already there, if you're already great, life already good for you, who are you reaching? Who can connect with that? Nobody. See, there's nothing there for the average person. See, what makes people fall in love is to see the process. People want to see that they can be where you are and God is with them. Being a light is not professing somehow to be perfect. Being the light is not in some ways professing that you've already accomplished all your problems. You've already enlightened yourself to a level of success. It's about understanding that the weather gets bad, but the God is good. I'm going to keep on the path even when I stumble. See, today more than any day, we need to know this. Today more than any day, we need a belief that God is with the wretched. God is with those who have no self-esteem. God is with those who are constantly feeling like they screw up, they make poor decisions, they're always behind the 8 ball, and they never seem to get it right. See, the most perfect God is with the most imperfect being. But the truth is, we have to believe it. Hey, this your boy Tone Duncan. Every Sunday, 1 p.m. It's the Sunday Conversation. It's a privilege. It's a pleasure hanging out with you guys. Remember, like, comment, share. I love to hear your thoughts. I love to hear any stories that you have. I love to see us continue this conversation because we are the divine children. We are the ones whose responsibility it is to take our experiences, not the ones that were successful, but the ones that were more similar to the same of us, the ones that tell everybody, listen, God worked through me when I was lower than you, when I was making more mistakes than you, when I was feeling more depressed than you, when I was feeling less than you. God had pulled me up. This is a good jump on the elevator. Let's take a ride together, because the same God in me, the same divinity that wakes me up in the morning, the same feeling in my insides that I can get this thing right if I just believe in myself, commit to the truth, get away from the negative beliefs. That God's the God they want to see be the lights. Yeah, buddy. We need that. And we don't need to worry about the judgment of other people. See, because the righteous are humbled by their own failures. And see, the enlightened are aware that failure is a part of experience. See, when we become strengthened in truth, we understand that truth comes to the ignorant first. That's how you know it's truth. See, once you have experienced it and done the math and seen the reality of it, you say, wow, I was wrong. Now I'm not. But I know because I am a person, I may be wrong again. But when I let it go, when I stop pretending like I've got to be so great, greatness becomes more evident all around me, inside of me. That's the light. Some of y'all know it's not easy. It's not easy trying to be a good person. It's not easy trying to have a positive spin on all these things. See, when you're stuck in self, when you're caught into your day-to-day grind, when you are feeling a level of despair, you have to understand through man, nothing is possible. It all equals failure. Every time that I look within Tone and I say, man, Tone, blah, 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 how I'm going to make it? No, you're going to fail. But through God, all things are possible. But here's the rub. In every person, there's the powerful Most High. There's the Creator God in you, working through you, talking to you. See, through man, nothing is possible. But when you step outside of your ego, when you let go of your fears, when you let go of your troubles, when you let it all down, you realize that the power inside of you, the energy that's going to take you from your tribulation to your destination is in you. That's the light. Carry that light, y'all. It's your boy, Tone Duncan. Hey, every Sunday, 1 p.m., it is a privilege, it is a pleasure, and it is a Sunday conversation. Hey, I thank you guys so very much. Hey, until next Sunday, I'll be thinking about y'all. Much love. Peace.